Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, I'd like to welcome you all to the Saskatchewan Building Trades Labor Day Picnic. I've got a few words that I'll say. I won't take too much of your time up. I know you all want to enjoy the sun and the weather. We haven't had much of that. So I'd also like to thank the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for dropping by yesterday for a visit. There's nothing like beating back an unwelcome force from outside of Saskatchewan. Let me take you back to March 10th, when Premier Wall's government introduced Bill 80. They did so with no advance consultation of the building trades. In fact, we didn't even get advanced warning. They told us the day the bill was introduced and dropped Bill 80 on the construction sector like a bomb. So if not the people of Saskatchewan, just who did the government talk to in developing Bill 80? They talked to the Christian Labour Association of Canada. They talked to the Progressive Contractors Association of Canada, which is composed almost exclusively of Alberta contractors. And they talked to some big individual Alberta-based contractors. They didn't talk to the working men and women of Saskatchewan, and I hear they didn't even bother to talk to Saskatchewan contractors. Now let me take you back to June 17th. On that day, the government held public, I repeat, public hearings on Bill 80, and they refused to let our members into the building to listen. They kept us waiting out on those very steps. Fast forward to today. Here we're gathered for a family picnic to enjoy the beautiful weather, the beautiful surroundings, and speak out against legislation that will hurt our movement and our province. We are the people that build Saskatchewan. We are the people that have powered record activity in the construction sector. Last year's $9.8 billion in new construction investments was more than double that of 2004. Our industry is more successful than it has ever been. Tradespeople are working for good wages and good benefits. Construction companies in Saskatchewan are thriving, and we're proud to be part of that. We work hard to keep good relationships with Saskatchewan contractors. I guess the government wants to change that. I'll tell you, there's lots of good reasons to oppose Bill 80. First of all, Bill 80 is a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. The construction industry in Saskatchewan is not broken. It's been among the most stable in the country, with not a single strike in 17 years. There are plenty of things in Saskatchewan that require the government's urgent attention. This is not one of them. Bill 80 will create two parallel systems in the construction industry. One for existing unions, and a new one aimed at getting out-of-province contractors and the Christian Labour Association of Canada into the province. I'll tell you right now, the building trades is not afraid of competition, but it's not a fair fight when you have one arm tied behind your back. Bill 80 will make the workplace less democratic. Under the existing system, workers are free to choose to be unionized or non-unionized. If they choose to belong to a union, they are represented by a craft union associated with their trade. Just like it is with the nurses, government workers, or the teachers. And if workers later decide that they don't want to be represented by that union, they can apply to the Labour Relations Board to have that union decertified. Not so under Bill 80. Under Bill 80, employers get to pick the union that will represent workers. And you know who they'll pick? They'll pick a union that works for the boss, like the Christian Labour Association of Canada. And what happens if workers don't like that choice? Too bad. Under Bill 80, workers cannot decertify the union picked by the boss. What's worse, they won't even be allowed to register a complaint with the Labour Relations Board that employer-chosen union isn't providing fair representation. To add insult to injury, Bill 80 will allow employers to have a back door to get rid of their union certifications. Under Bill 80's abandonment provisions, employers can shed their unions if they can prove the union has been inactive for a period of 3 years, even if that 3 years goes as far back as the dark days of the 1980s. And even if, during those 3 years, the employer had no employees, I ask you, how is that fair? If these changes become law, Saskatchewan will be the only jurisdiction in Canada with retroactive legislation on abandonment. Each of these points is reason enough to reject Bill 80. But I'll tell you what I think is the most damaging part of Bill 80. Saskatchewan's construction industry works. It's active, it's profitable, it's stable, it provides good jobs for Saskatchewan people. Then the government of Saskatchewan comes along with Bill 80 and reignites old battles that have been put to rest between business and labor. It pits Saskatchewan worker against Saskatchewan worker. It pits union against union. It pits Saskatchewan contractors against large out-of-province rivals. Well, you know what I think? I think in Saskatchewan, we should build on our successes, not tear them down for crass ideological reasons. I think in Saskatchewan our resources are better spent finding ways to work together, to make life better for Saskatchewan people, not fighting worn-out ideological battles. I think the government should work with organized labor to make Saskatchewan a better place, not introduce legislation to try to destroy us. Premier Wall, being pro-business does not have to mean being anti-union. Work with us, not against us. Build consensus, not division. We need to find another way in Saskatchewan. It starts by withdrawing Bill 80. Premier Wall, the construction industry isn't broken. Please don't fix it. Thank you very much.